Hello and welcome to the third Economic Forum of Young Leaders. My name is Bartłomiej Martys and I would like to welcome you to the debate Common Challenges for Poland and Western Europe, Demography, Changes to the Labour Market, Future of European Union, Further Expansion or Exit. I would like to welcome our panelists. Starting from my left, we have Mr. Mariusz Bednarz, the Program Coordinator for the Economic Forum of Young Leaders, representing Poland. Then we have Matthias Olde from Netherlands, from the board member of Youth Atlantic Council of the Netherlands. Then on my right we have Dennis Dorpmuth, who is a sustainapreneur and the chairman of Circle of Sustainable Europe, a non-governmental organization. And finally I would like to welcome Matthias Jente, who is a member of the German think tank Studentenforum Tennister Gref. Hope I got it right. As I mentioned, the topic of our discussion are the challenges, both for Poland and Western Europe. That's why we have representatives of different countries. That also means different opinions. But I would like to start with some brief introduction to the topic. I think all of our countries face similar challenges recently, mainly concerning demography. In all of the three countries that we represent, we have either a small percentage of growth of population or even the decrease of population. I mean, people who are born in our countries, and most of the people who come to our country are outside of it, so migrants. We also have similar experience when it comes to labor market. Currently, Poland has a big shortage in employees. It's starting to become a market for the worker, not the employer. And I think it's similar both in Germany and Netherlands because of the low unemployment rate and raising higher salaries in both countries. And we all see what is happening recently in the European Union in the context of Brexit, whether we'll see next countries exiting European Union. We have more and more nationalistic parties gaining power all throughout Europe. We can see it quite clearly. So, despite the cultural differences, despite different history, I think we all have our point of view, which might be actually quite common for all three of our countries, and in that case, I would like to hand the mic to each one of you to give a short speech concerning how your country, in your opinion, how your countries or EU in general are dealing with those topics that I mentioned. So the challenges that Europe is facing throughout recent years. We are under a very specific time. Both the situation in Germany recently, after a huge crisis in Chemnitz. You've mentioned that Poland is a labor market is also a topic in the Netherlands. So we would be very keen to hear something about that. How Dutch people perceive Polish people, whether it's a challenge or a threat for the market, for the country, whether we can cooperate, whether we need further deepening of the diversity of integration of European Union, or maybe we have the end of history, as Francis Fukuyama said, the end of history and the clash of civilizations, whether it's a clash of Western civilizations versus the people who are migrating to European Union, and whether we see that as a challenge or a threat, especially because our countries represent a different approach when it comes to migration. Mainly in Poland, migrants are people from Ukraine, so a country very closely connected in terms of history, in terms of the language, whereas in your countries, there are mainly people from outside of Western Hemisphere. So how also do you perceive that, and whether the model of integration that Poland is having, so mainly people from our cultural circle, is correct, or maybe we are making something wrong? Maybe maybe how the Dutch and Germans do it is better. I'm really keen on hearing your opinions about it, and we'll start with Mariusz, who will represent the Polish point of view in those topics.
Thank you very much, Bartek. It's a great pleasure to be here. I'm very happy to present the opinion of my country. First of all, I would like to say that Polish democracy is a very young democracy. It was born almost 30 years ago. It's exactly my age, so I'm trying to live with the thought that the Polish independence is my age. I'm just so the Poland is in my age. It's a young country in terms of modern democratic thinking. After fall of Iron Curtain, we just got back our lives again, and we are trying to keep it close to ourselves, close to our heart, and that's why Polish people are maybe not obsessed, but very focused on remaining in that way. What can I say? Many people think that migrant crisis didn't affect Poland, but it's not exactly true, because there is a great stream of people flowing to Poland from our eastern neighbor, from Ukraine, and we are supporting their students. We are trying to make a better life here in Poland for them. So this is a challenge for us personally, but we are also seeing what is happening in the West, and the differences between the West and the Western countries in Poland, they are visible. I can say that they are quite big, but in my opinion, the mutual respect and maybe what we need is meeting. We need to discuss our opinions, our views, and during this discussion we can form a mutual common voice regarding these problems. We need all hands on desk on the top. So that's a short introduction from me. Maybe after you guys will come up with something, I can answer you with some more kind words. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for your great points. I think it's difficult to represent the official Dutch position. I leave it to my other Dutch colleague. However, I can make a couple of singular remarks about the experience I had, for instance, and what you can see in Dutch society, especially relating to Polish demographics in the Netherlands. My hometown is one of the prime examples which has created a very significant Polish community of, I think, about 40,000 people in just the last 20 years. And while the first generation of these people were mostly manual laborers working on the jobs which were at the bottom of the salary scale, this is advancing. A large group of Polish students live in my hometown. There is a lot, and a lot of the international jobs. There is a growth of the educated Polish community in the Netherlands. From the labor market perspective, the Netherlands, like other countries in Europe, we came for quite a bad economic position, and currently there is starting a significant shortage of people in certain sectors, especially those sectors which other countries also have a shortage, and then we have like the benefit of salary differentiation, which means that from a lot of regions in Europe, high educated people come to our country. However, I would say this is also getting more limited and more problematic, because I understand that moving from one country to another country for a job is a very difficult thing to do, because you leave back your home, your family, for the unknown. So for some individuals it's a huge adventure and it's a great opportunity. We need to make sure that it's not because of a lack of opportunities back at home, but it's because of opportunities which are offered by the place you're going to. And for that, you have quite a lot of opportunity. If the impact of this to society at large, I think it's difficult to assess. it's a very short term, and it's only the children of the first wave of Polish immigrants in the Netherlands which are now which are now learning Dutch, which are on the Dutch education school, are entering Dutch education. But I think there are some challenges in this, but especially a lot of opportunities. And as we are one Europe, it's getting easier and easier to migrate from one place to another, even if it's just for a couple of years. So we should support this, and we should give room here for those people to exploit these opportunities. Go to another country a couple of years, earn some money, move back, and buy a house. Such opportunities. So that's why I'm quite positive in general about the migration one side, but I'm also looking forward to how will this impact society both in the Netherlands, both in Poland, for a longer term. Because as I understand, there is a growing shortage of people here. The population is also getting older with low reproduction rates. So these challenges are common. But how we will deal with them, and how we'll deal with them together.
Thank you very much. Yes, I agree with both Matthias and Matthijs in the fact that, the opportunities are there and the challenges there, and we should rise to both together. Because as a society, as a people, not just Poland and the Netherlands and Germany, but the entirety European Union and the world as a whole have grown in a both more an idealistic sense, but also, I believe, in a practical sense. We have exchanged cultures, we have exchanged respect and ideas, and the capability for people of Poland to come to the Netherlands and work there on the same level of respect and acknowledgement as the Dutch, and vice versa, are definitely things that are happening these days, and also things that should actively be worked towards in order to give you the chance of seeing a different culture, seeing the capabilities of growth that you might have by switching your point of view and the world you live in, because that way you can interact with the different facets of the world and you can grow, because that is what we do, all of us together. If you just keep growing every single day, both in a intellectual sense, but also in a academic sense, in a business sense, you will achieve more, and you can also pass that on in your social circle to others and gain those opportunities. So I personally believe that if you are not afraid of that future that we are heading into as a people together, because we are a global people, the chances but also the problems of our world are no longer nationwide, they are more than that. And if the people work towards that in mutual respect and admiration, then I believe we can do anything as a people together.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm also here for the first time at the Economic Forum, and I'm happy to be here. I can agree with many of your opinion. As the German perspective is, Germany and Poland profited much from the European Union. The German-Polish history was not always that easy, but I guess since German reunification and the enlargement of the Eastern European countries, Germany profited from the economic sense, but even also from the cultural exchange with Poland. Now many Polish people find workplaces in Germany. German economy has a big problem with the demographics. We need young, talented people, educated people, in order to support German economy and to bring us forward. And so the German-Polish exchange is really making a contribution. We are going to profit much from it, and I guess the European Union helps much more in order to connect to each other, to get to know each other's cultures, and even to support and enhance German-Polish relations. So.
Thank you very much for presenting the opinions or the points of view of your countries. Is there anything that you would like to reply to out of the other statements? Okay, thank you. In that case, I hand the mic to Mariusz.
Thank you very much, Matthias. I really enjoyed your intro to this topic. And regarding what you said about Polish labor force in Germany, the work in Germany for Polish people, it's also an opportunity to educate themselves. I heard about a very great way of raising people in Germany, about vocational system of schooling, especially in more technical vocations, and that's the way of thinking, way of teaching people that is not exactly implemented in Poland. It's about a cooperation between science and a cooperation between universities and representatives of private market, and this is a great solution which I think, I hope in Poland will be implemented. So it's also these relations we have. It's also great opportunity to teach from one another, and this is the most important thing. What I would like to say that the ethics are very important in business and in our universities. What you said about common mutual respect and growth. The Marcus Aurelius, the great philosopher, had a servant, and this servant had one task: to whisper to his ear that you are only human. And I guess this is the thing that we need right now: to be modest, to be respectful for others, and that's the way that we can together reach stars. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Okay.
I also want to stress that, especially I would say young people can profit from the European Union. I guess in all the generations, the conflicts in Europe have been quite cruel. Europe has always been in wars for centuries, and now we see for the first time in history that young people are so strongly connected with Poland, France, Netherlands, and so European Union helps much in order to bring down prejudices and to connect people and building bridges.
I agree with what you say, because at the time we live in an age of unparalleled peace, and youth and youngsters today for the first time actually have the opportunity to spread their wings and to grow up in a world where you can be idealistic, you can think about that future we are going to build as a people. I keep stressing that. However, I think unification is the way to reaching the stars, as you say. However, we must also look to the past and indeed not make the mistakes of previous generations, of the wars, but also not just wars over a country, but also trade wars, for example, or wars over political ideals. It is the fundamental responsibility, I think, of youth today to question the system as it is, on how can I make it better, instead of walking in the footsteps of the previous generations who just went with the flow, instead of questioning of how it should be, because we have turned our educational systems also towards not how to think, but what to think. And I believe if you keep thinking how should it be instead of what should it be, then you will continue to keep an open mind for those new challenges and opportunities that are coming, and also be able to tackle them and grab them. So that is something that youth can do today.
Thank you very much. Interesting discussion. Thank you all for your opinions. So the conclusion might be that despite the differences, both the history and the current judgment of the situation in the European Union in general, and different views on migration, demographics and so on, the future is bright. Let's hope that's the case. Events like this of the Economic Forum of Young Leaders is a great opportunity to both exchange those ideas, to spread the word, and we are hoping to have very influential panelists in the next 2 days, and let's hope that the questions, the discussions that we are having right now will have an actual influence, a footprint on the politics of our nation, of our nations, of our governments, and let's hope that we will still have a chance to have such discussions in the future on the next editions of the Economic Forum of Young Leaders. I would like to thank you all for joining this debate, for your remarks, for your statements. We can continue afterwards. Our discussion in such a group. Thanks again for coming, for accepting our invitation. Thank you to all the people that have watched our debate, and hopefully see you on the next Economic Forum of Young Leaders. Thank you very much.